Jest live, ale nie ma dźwięku, no. But I can hear myself on the stream. But I cannot hear you.
Okay, now it should be good. Something is not okay with my OBS, but now should be working. Yes, I see that
Yeah,
input
it is
is
working.
working. Yeah. Okay.
It's working
So
now, yeah.
sorry for troubles. Let's begin. Hello. Today I'm on lead with a stream. Uh, I'm with the Chris,
Yep, I'm here.
from Prognetics, and yes, today I want to go through my code related to the Saga Orchestrator, related to the message handling by this orchestrator. Last time prepared for uh, for orchestrator for handling messages, and now I have implementation of this algorithm, and I also changed some things related with to the creation of the Saga orchestrator. Last time I showed you a code. Saga orchestrator was created by the factory in the Saga host. Now there is a iStartable Saga orchestrator, and there is a just injected orchestrator, but in the constructor is not started.
Simon, can you
Yeah.
share the screen with me?
Oh, okay. Right. Mhm. And it should be this probably. Now.
Yep.
Okay. So you see the screen. So yeah, this is the Saga host. Last time it was the factory here, and this factory was creating the orchestrator by the constructor, and this orchestrator was not in the DI container. I decided to move it to the container because of our last stream. Uh, we discussed about it. I mean, about creating the objects not by the container, and I realized that this occurs also here. So now the orchestrator is injected, and orchestrator can be started or not started. Uh, Let me show the orchestrator, and yeah, uh, to start the orchestrator we need a subscriber which will receive the messages when we when the message will be pushed. Yes, so it's crucial, but it's not like we can inject a Saga subscriber, because subscriber must be created based on the Saga model, and Saga model is created asynchronously, and this can't be achieved by dependency injection. I mean, creating, services and objects asynchronously. We should uh, uh, achieve it through the flow of the application.
So where is it created then?
Saga subscriber is provided by our client, iSaga client, like RabbitMQ plugin. It's our client, and this client has three methods: initialize to initialize this client, things like establish connection, create channel,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some initial and two things. uh, Subscriber that client will subscribe to our orchestrator and consume this method provide the orchestrator that is ready to consume messages
Right.
from this client. So yeah, last time it was in only one uh, method. It was like start, and I realized that we need maintain a very specific order of the starting the features. I mean, first we need to initialize Saga client where we have a subscriber. We need to pass subscriber to our orchestrator,
Mm-hmm.
and first we need must be done. And if the subscriber is in the orchestrator, then we can consume messages, not in the
Mm-hmm.
reversed way, because we can't consume and then we want to send next message to our subscriber, but we don't have subscriber yet. So first we
Right.
need to pass subscriber. That's why I created three methods, and these three methods are invoked by the Saga host, which is which the client is injected, and here we have start. This start is uh, invoked in our execute async in Saga background service. And here we checked if orchestrator is started. It shouldn't be so. It shouldn't happen, but we 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 should check it. Maybe it's some bug or something like that. Then we uh, create the model. Uh, okay, something is. No, we don't need this model. Sorry, it's old code. Model is created in a different way. Uh, Here we have client initialize, and here we have, as I said, this creating this connection channel and also Saga model. And I moved creating transaction ledger because yeah we decided to name it a transaction ledger. So I
Mm-hmm.
started, you know, name this as transaction ledger. But I first I will wait for your PR for your merge, and then
Mm-hmm.
I will, pull this code to me.
Yeah.
Right now, I have two namings, and I'm conscious about it. Uh, but it it's not too much for me. I mean, I know what's going on here, and I
Mm-hmm.
can name it differently, but it will be more work. Maybe I will later cherry pick one of the commit. Maybe you have one commit strictly related to transaction ledger. Do you have or not?
I don't think so.
Okay, so yeah, but right now it's not a problem when it
Mm-hmm.
I'll So yeah, and here we have this creating this Saga model. I have this as the lazy task, which means it will happen only one time when this task will be first awaited. This will be run, and then this task will be returned every time, and it will be already completed.
Mm-hmm.
.NET environment is optimized for caching tasks, and when the task is completed, awaiting this, it's not a huge overhead. Uh, I can also use value task, of course not with the cache, uh, but in a different way with uh, if the Saga model is here, we return this. We execute this part of code. If not, we can return Saga model. But I choose the solution with task. I think both solutions are okay, według me. Uh, uh, for me, yeah. Uh, okay, so this is the part of transaction ledger. Uh, yes, we have initialize. In the consume, we just create the consumers based on the orchestrator and Saga model uh, or transaction ledger. And these consumers are consuming. Uh, Before consuming, of course, we getting subscriber. It's in this case, it's very simple piece of code. We just invoking the Saga subscriber create, and this return RabbitMQ Saga subscriber. Okay, what next? We have this Saga host, so we have client initialized, we have subscriber of our client, we pass the subscriber to our orchestrator. So our orchestrator is ready for use, so we can consume this orchestrator. And let's go to the orchestrator because here we
Can
have,
I
yes, yes.
can I sorry, can I just ask you one question because I wanted to make sure uh, because you based everything that we have the knowledge about the consumer, right? And on the RabbitMQ, which pattern from the patterns available on their website we are using? Did you use the publish subscribe one or something else?
Uh, I mean event based, yes. Uh, Consuming. Let's see. No, it was subscribing. Let's see. We have basic consume, and it's basic consumer. So it's the event-based consumer. Uh, Something
Mm,
like that. Consumer. And here we have RabbitMQ async consumer factory. So it's async eventing basic consumer. We can also use the eventing basic consumer. Yeah, so it's the event-based consumers. Where we declaring this lambda with sender an event when something received.
So, okay. So there would be a mistake that I probably should have checked or seen quicker because then what you have used is you have used the most basic, like kind of point to point connection that you are aware of the consumer in your code. And I thought that we will use publish subscribe. So you, as the orchestrator, you have no knowledge about the consumer. You have, like, you don't know if the consumer is there. You're just sending something over the queue. I mean that we are not configuring the consumers mm, on the any part of the library. The
Okay,
only
but we.
from
Mhm.
our perspective, just let me finish. From
Mhm.
our perspective, our consumer is the queue. So we are only responsible for pushing messages over the queue, and some services on the other end are required to subscribe to those events.
Yes. Mhm.
So we would use the uh, publish subscribe one.
I mean, let me show you what we have here, because we need to somehow send message to I mean, pass the message to the orchestrator, right? Of course, we have a subscribe. We have a subscribe part, which is we publishing some message as orchestrator, but also we need to uh, allow to pass message to the orchestrator. It's a different way. I mean,
Right. Okay.
so
So
this client
in
consuming orchestrator, not in the different way.
okay. So our consumer,
Hmm.
let's say, is about consuming messages from the queue. I mean, on our side from different services.
Mm, can you say it again? Mm,
So our consume method on the orchestrator means
yes.
that we are consuming messages from other services, basically, from the queue.
Yes.
And what kind of information we need to be able to do that?
Mm, I mean, orchestrator, what kind of information needs to send, I mean, receive this message from the client, or uh, maybe what what because maybe I don't okay. Okay,
Okay.
I had some problems, technical problems, but can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fine. Did you use this tutorial? Maybe.
mm, let me see. Yes, yes, I read this right, and I can show you what I used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, here we have pull it all together. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, we have a consumer. So we received some messages from Saga or from the
Yeah.
RabbitMQ, and
Mm-hmm.
we need here orchestrator to pass message from this consumer,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
this is, oh my God, why I don't know why it's lagging so much. um, and yeah. So this is here when we have a consumer. We have Orchestrator ready to use, and
Mm-hmm.
now we have a consumer that on received message from RabbitMQ pass this input message in the body to the orchestrator.
Okay, cool.
And
Exactly.
or orchestrator in the push in the push method will pass the output message to the Saga subscriber, which is
Mm-hmm.
also our plugin. And this was subscribed
Mm-hmm.
to our orchestrator.
Mm-hmm.
Is it everything clear for you? And
Mm-hmm.
you agree with this way of implementing
Yeah,
it?
that's fine. Yeah,
Okay,
I understand it. I mean, I didn't at the beginning, but now
okay,
I get the
okay.
whole picture, so that's fine. Yeah, it's
Mm,
exactly as I imagined that it should be. So that's cool. Yeah.
okay, thank you. So we can go to our orchestrator and see what happens when our plugin will push the message to our orchestrator. Our message is the input message. I mean, when we have a transaction ID, payload, and compensation, and also queue name or event name. Uh, I saw two namings. I saw that in the transaction ledger is event name, right? In your code.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so after your pull request, or maybe after this stream, I will rename it to, I can do it even now, to event name. And we have our input message. So first we checking if the Saga orchestrator is started, and if the Saga subscriber is null, it's for, let's say, uh, C# and our analyzers to ensure that our Saga subscriber is not null, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it will not understand if it started is only true. So yeah, first I check if the event name is referring to the error event name,
Mm-hmm.
and this error event name can be set in Saga options, and this is the default. Mm, we can change it, or we can uh, uh, have this just error. But it can be configured by the um, configuration, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if the event name is error event name, it means that error is happened. So maybe I'll open the mirror when we have this. Okay. Uh, I don't have any sensitive data here. Um,
You will just receive tons of spam.
right. Uh, okay. Um, I'm not too much experienced by the streaming, so
Yeah.
uh,
No one from us is.
uh, so this is this path, right? Oh my God. Everything is so slow, but okay. Now I want to write, okay, and now it should be okay. So is it error message? And this is essentially this statement, even if the event name that is pushed is equals to error event name, and if
Mm-hmm.
is and the transaction ID is null, um, it means that the message is broken and something is wrong with the message. So we want to, for example, log warning or error and return it. I mean, return nothing. Uh, if the input message is valid, I mean, with the transaction ID, we can invoke compensate method on the engine. So it's the next part. So first we getting a state from the Saga log. As you can see, there
Mm-hmm.
is a Saga log service here injected to our engine. Also, we have a transaction ledger provider, and it's only the interface. There is no implementation. Implementation will be done later when uh, I mean, there is a task or issue with
Yeah.
the Saga
Right.
log, so then we will handle Saga log. So yeah, compensate. We getting state. If transaction state is null, it means that we don't have any transaction with this transaction ID, so this message is broken, probably just returning the empty dictionary. And dictionary means that maybe we should create more descriptive type for this. I mean, because we here we have pairs, uh, and this is the name of the event we want to push our message, and this is the output message with the compensation, right? So if the transaction state is not existing, then we want to log warning or error and return nothing. If the transaction state is in our Saga log, then we want to change the transaction state to the is active to the false and get compensation for our transaction ID. Here we have a
Mm-hmm.
compensations, and here we have a string and objects. So string is the operation for this compensation, and object is the this payload. And we mapping this into the dictionary with the event name and output message with transaction ID and with the payload. Uh, yes, uh, and it's here we have, and then we for all the compensations we invoke the Saga subscriber on message, and we awaiting this. And yeah, and it's everything for this path. I mean for this error case, and when this is not the error, then we can invoke the process method of the on the engine. It, it has event name and input message, and this is the path of our algorithm in the mirror here. So transaction OK path. And here we
Mm-hmm.
have right now is a little bit ugly. I will split it this in probably into some methods or maybe services.
Mm-hmm.
I will see, but for now it's the basic simple algorithm in one method. So first we have a transaction. We want to a transaction ledger. We want uh, uh, we want to get the operation. I think it's better naming because we agreed that operation is better than step, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
yeah, here we have the operation which is related to our queue name we passed to the engine, and here we have the operation. If operation is null, it means that queue name is the nonsense. Someone passed the wrong queue name, so we want to log error and return null. Okay, we're getting the transaction ID, and if the operation order is 0, so it's the first operation in our transaction. We want to generate transaction ID. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, this is in draft. Here we have to do to service. We probably want to have some service that will generate ID. Uh, then if we created the transaction ID, we can pass to the Saga log the state of the transaction that the last operation is operation from, so it's like event name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and here we have a transaction ID. We have also is active on true, which is the default behavior. And if the operation, I mean, it's the if, and if the operation is not first, first we need to check if transaction ID is null. It shouldn't be. If it's null, then it's something is wrong. Uh, we're getting the state of the transaction based on the transaction ID. If the state is null, uh, then we don't have such transaction in our Saga log. So the transaction ID passed to our orchestrator is wrong. So we want to log this and return null. And if the now here we're getting the transaction, uh, uh, say transaction model. So it's not the transaction from the Saga log. So transaction state is the transaction from the transaction ledger to see what was the last operation for uh, uh, in our that happened and what should be the next operation. And if there is next, I mean, there is no next operation or next operation is not equal to our current operation that go from the from outside from our plugin, it means that something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We because the order is wrong.
Yep.
If order is okay, then we want to set state the transaction ID, and last operation is our current event. And and if input message has a compensation, then we want to save this compensation for transaction ID. And here we have a compensation event name.
What? what does the exclamation mark at the
This,
end mean?
right. It means, you see, if I removed it, it will say that transaction ID
Maybe
may be
no.
null here, but it will not. But ID is not smart enough to see that here we have a transaction ID, and
Yeah.
if uh, we know that there it will in this case will be set.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, if transaction ID is null, we return immediately, so it will
Yeah.
not be.
Yeah,
Most
it
of
won't.
the
Yeah.
time, ID is smart enough to get it,
To
but
know it.
in this
Mm-hmm.
case, it's too hard. That's
Okay.
why I decided to exclamation mark. I mean, we can, get this and put also here, but I think
No,
it's
it's
too
fine.
much. It's too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Even for me, it's too much validation. And yeah, and we also want to this compensation from the input message passed into our Saga log. And if it's saved, then we return, as you can see, such struct. Uh, yeah, we can discuss even about it. Uh, it's, I mean, do you like this?
I would create an object.
Okay,
I would just
okay,
create an object.
okay. So we can create. I will create the object, and it's. I mean, it's okay,
I
or
mean,
struct because it's
Fogo.
basically struct.
Yeah.
mm, and it can be struct. Okay, so yeah, this is the operation, and this is like I don't remember. It was target event name or completion, or I mean,
Completion event name. Yeah.
yeah, completion event name, right? And completion event name, and we have output message with transaction ID, with with again with this exclamation mark, and with the payload. Uh, yeah, and it's the whole algorithm. Mm, and let's go maybe outside to our Saga host. No, Saga host orchestrator, and yeah, and we process message. We have the output, and now we can check if the output is null. Then uh, we don't want to pass to our subscriber the output. But if has, then we want to invoke on message with the queue name and the message, which mean message is the this output message. Yes. So it's probably you would catch some bugs uh, in better in the PR than now.
Definitely.
With description in the comment, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I want to show you that uh, I have this algorithm implemented, and it will be soon ready for a review
Mm-hmm.
in the GitHub.
Cool. Good job. Thank you. It's great. I will, of course, go through it by myself. I've noticed that you already created Saga log interfaces, etc., right?
Right, only interfaces. So yeah.
So you created a separate DLL for it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Right now it's all in the in the orchestrator. And iSagalog, it should be probably in this project. I mean, uh, why it not open? I
Mm,
don't know, maybe something wrong with this Visual Studio when OBS is running, but as you can see, I can.
first time I'm seeing something like this.
Okay, yeah, maybe I move this a little bit. Oh, nice. Um, okay,
Maybe restart?
yeah,
Are
I
you in
can.
admin? You're not.
No, no, I'm not admin, but I, I don't know why I should be admin for view the solution explorer. But okay, maybe it's the bug or uh, Visual Studio was stuck. Uh, okay. Oh, oh yeah. Now it's working. Uh,
I was wondering
I don't know why it's
in the
removed, but okay. Yeah,
I was wondering in the meantime, should we create just a separate project for, I mean, because there is Pragmatics, Saga Orchestrator, dependency injection, and if we shouldn't just have one DLL about dependency injection, just a single one.
mm, yeah. I mean, for the Saga. I mean, for the Saga orchestrator, we should. I mean, for the Saga without the plugins, I think it's okay. And plugins probably should have own dependency injection libraries, I think. But for the mm,
But
the
why
rest,
then? Are there because I don't know what's I would need to check what's inside the orchestrator dependency injection. But is there some code that is specific to, well, probably to the orchestrator it
but
is.
you will have a lot of other dependencies to different queues in your
Yeah, that's
dependent.
true, but there will be some. I'm more thinking about the things that are in common or that we can cover with abstractions. That's what I'm thinking about. Like,
Yeah, but abstractions we can have in I mean one DLL, but you know exactly when you register some types in the dependency injection, you need these types, not only the interfaces.
yeah, 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 you're right.
So
I'm
and
I'm I'm thinking, as I said, I'm thinking about the common things, like for example, what we have done for the parsers at
mhm.
this time. It's working without the particular knowledge of any type,
Okay, yes,
right?
we can rename this because right now it is Saga Orchestrator because when I created this, I treated Saga Orchestrator a little bit like core,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's why it's named like that. But in it should have all the dependency injection things that uh, can run the orchestrator, but
Yeah,
it's basically core dependency injection. I will rename it, and here we will declare the everything that our orchestrator need.
So
Uh,
the let's say that the core dependency injection in those terms would be like a shared DLL that would have the extensions that are applicable to every code that is not specific, let's say.
yes, yes. Uh,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so I
Because
will rename it to the core, and all the um, Q integrations will have own dependency injection because um, it should be like that, right? It's the
yeah.
extension of the RabbitMQ. We can't pack uh, everything into one DLL. I mean, every plugin that
Mm-hmm.
exists. Okay, right. So this will be renamed to the core. It will contain all not specific services. Registration.
Can you make such a pull request on separate branch and do it before me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Because then I will take it, I will move the code that I have to it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay,
then I will make a PR with my changes, and then you will be able to make your PR,
right. No
right?
problem. I will do it.
Okay,
So it's on me.
perfect.
And yeah, and about iSaga log, uh, it should be probably here. Prognetic Saga
Yes,
core abstract.
yeah.
Uh, right. And yeah, um, maybe also iSaga orchestrator, but I'm not right now sure about it. But because here we have orchestrator contract. Mm, okay, we'll see. But yeah, iSagalog will be here. Right now is here because it was only draft. Now I will
Mm-hmm.
be
Moving it.
refactor this and will iterate, start a new iteration of implementing this because
Right.
I mean my way of working is like I create the simplest the most simple way to implement something and then I refactoring it to the uh, shape I like.
Yeah, but I believe that that's the way of doing it.
Okay.
That
Uh,
first you are doing it just the way you know it will work, and then you are perfecting it.
right. Yeah.
Which we also done last time with this dependency injection, right? That I
Right.
was saying something is not right. Something has to be done different, and we changed it 3 times, and we made it right in the
Right.
end with the reflection. So it's exactly about it.
Yes.
Remember that when there is too many interfaces in the Saga core, this abstract, we can create feature folders. So you can create a folder inside the abstract, for example, Orchestrator, and put everything there. So we will be distinguished by features or by the
Hmm.
areas if we just have too many files. Then in this way we will have it more uh, well, I wanted to say flexible, but the maybe correct word is
Mm,
just it will be a bit more clean. We will be able to navigate around the solution
right.
more easily.
This is true, and I see that it uh, will be more classes here. I mean, interfaces, iSaglog, engine, and so on. So yeah, I think it will be right time to split it into the features folder. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good point. Hmm.
Okay. Do we have something else that we want to discuss that we were talking about?
Mm,
before the stream. We covered pretty much everything, I think.
yes. I think we managed to do everything, and uh, we we can finish for today, or
Yeah,
maybe you want something more.
we can wrap up because this is what we agreed to that we'll discuss today.
Hmm.
And on another stream, I believe that I will be doing I will be basically cleaning up my code from our last stream, but I don't know if I want to do just just a PR even before stream, and then later on I will tell you on, well, not Monday but Tuesday, that we are doing something that's next in the line. But
Okay.
let me check if I will just have time to put some more hours into doing it basically.
Okay. Okay. It's okay.
Yeah, but just if you have a chance, if you could make the PR with what we agreed on with this dependency
Yeah.
injection core, then I will be able also to move my code and create the
Yeah.
PR.
So yeah, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, I think. Uh, it's okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Let's
Um,
let's do it.
mhm. Okay. It's nice. So yeah, we can finish. So thank you everybody who's watching us, and like and subscribe.
Thank you,
And
like and
yeah,
subscribe and thumbs up.
bye.
Bye